Hello, I'm Miss Ginsburg with KnowAtom, and today we're going to be reading Balancing Boats. This is a student reader in Unit 9. Floating on water. Float or sink. When Eric traveled to Israel, he bought a hot pink bowling ball. He had a question he wanted to answer. Will the bowling ball sink or float in the Dead Sea? This is the Dead Sea. It is very salty water. Floating in the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is a body of water. People come from all over the world to visit it. It is famous because it is very salty. It is much saltier than the ocean. People float easily in the Dead Sea. To float means to stay above the surface of water or another fluid such as air. People float in the Dead Sea. Density and floating. Objects float when they are less dense than the fluid they are in. Density is a property of matter. It is the amount of matter packed in a certain amount of space. The particles of a dense object are packed tightly together. The particles of a less dense object have more space around them. A beach ball has a lower density than a bowling ball because a beach ball is filled with air. Salt water is denser than fresh water. There are more particles in a cup of salt water than there are in a cup of fresh water. Both cups of water have the same amount of water, but fresh water doesn't have many particles of salt. This is salt water. It has many salt particles. It has a high density. This is fresh water. It has fewer salt particles. It has a low density. Before Eric went to the Dead Sea, he filled a bathtub full of fresh water. He put the bowling ball in the water. It sank. To sink means to drop down in water or another fluid such as air. The bowling ball sank because it was denser than the fresh water. Eric then put his bowling ball in regular ocean water. It sank there too. The ball was denser than the ocean water. The bowling ball sank to the bottom of the bathtub. The bowling ball in a bathtub full of fresh water. Dense Dead Sea. When Eric got to the Dead Sea, he rolled his ball into it. The bowling ball floated. This means that the water of the Dead Sea was denser than the bowling ball. This is because it is so salty. The bowling ball floats in the Dead Sea. Here's the bowling ball in the salty Dead Sea. Density and shape. The shape of an object also affects how well it floats. Boats are a good example of this. Boats carry people and cargo on the water. There are many kinds of boats. Some boats are large. Cruise ships carry thousands of people. Some boats are small. A canoe carries 1 or 2 people. Cruise ships are large. Canoes carry 1 or 2 people. Shapes of a boat. The body of the boat is called the hull. The hull includes the part of the boat that goes underwater. It also includes the part in the middle that is hollowed out. This is where people and cargo go. There are different hull shapes. One shape is a flat bottom hull. Another shape is a round bottom hull. Even though the hull can be different shapes, all boats have a large surface that touches the water. Here's a flat bottom hull, and here's a boat with a round bottom hull. Gravity pulls down on objects in the water. This is the weight of an object. It pushes some of the water out of the way. In response, the water pushes back. The more of the boat that touches the water it pushes out of the way, and the more the water pushes back. This helps the boat float. The forces on a boat: the weight of the boat, and then the buoyant force of the water. Kinds of boats: sailboat, container ship, kayak, tugboat. I learned a lot reading Balancing Boats, and I had fun too. I hope that you learned a lot and that you had fun also. I'll see you tomorrow with another one. Bye!